Hello, this is Krystal, and thank you so much for joining me for this week's First Chapter Friday. Today I will be kicking off Henry County Reads with this year's selection, Our Town by Thornton, a play in 3 acts. Act 1. No curtain, no scenery. The audience, arriving, sees an empty stage in half light. Presently, the stage manager, hat on and pipe in mouth, enters and begins placing a table and 3 chairs downstage left, and a table and 3 chairs downstage right. He also places a low bench at the corner of what will be the web house, left. Left and right are from the point of view of the actor facing the audience. Up is toward the back wall. As the house lights go down, he is finished setting the stage and leaning against the right proscenium pillar, watches the late arrivals in the audience. When the auditorium is in complete darkness, he speaks. Stage manager. This play is called Our Town. It was written by Thornton, produced and directed by produced by A, directed by B. In it, you will see Miss C, Miss D, Miss E, and Mr. F, Mr. G, Mr. H, and many others. The name of the town is Grover's Corners, New Hampshire, just across the Massachusetts line. Latitude 42 degrees, 40 minutes. Longitude 70 degrees, 37 minutes. The first act shows a day in our town. The day is May 7th, 1901. The time is just before dawn. A rooster crows. The sky is beginning to show some streaks of light over in the east there, behind our mountain. The morning star always gets wonderful bright the minute before it has to go, doesn't it? He stares at it for a moment, then goes upstage. Well, I'd better show you how our town lies up here. That is, parallel with the back wall, is Main Street. Way back there is the railway station. Tracks go that way. Polish towns cross the tracks, and some Canuck families. Toward the left. Over there is the Congregational Church. Across the streets, the Presbyterian. Methodist and Unitarian are over there. Baptist is down in the hollow by the river. Catholic Church is over beyond the tracks. Here's the town hall and post office combined. Jail's in the basement. Brian once made a speech from these very steps here. Along here's a row of stores, hitching posts and hearse blocks in front of them. First automobiles going to come along in about 5 years belong to Banker Cartwright, our richest citizen. Lives in the big white house up on the hill. Here's the grocery store, and here's Mr. Morgan's drugstore. Most everybody in town manages to look into those 2 stores once a day. Public schools over yonder. High schools still farther over. 9:15 mornings, noon times, and 3 o'clock afternoons. The whole town can hear the yelling and screaming from those schoolyards. He approaches the table and chairs downstage right. This is our doctor's house, Doc Gibbs. This is the back door. 2 arched trellises, covered with vines and flowers, are pushed out, one by each proscenium pillar. There's some scenery for those who think they have to have scenery. This is Mrs. Gibbs' garden. Corn, peas, beans, hollyhocks, heliotrope, and a lot of burdock. Crosses the stage. In those days, our newspaper came out twice a week, the Grover's Corners Sentinel. And this is Editor Webb's house. And this is Mrs. Webb's garden. Just like Mrs. Gibbs's, only it's got a lot of sunflowers too. He looks upward, center stage. Right here's a big butternut tree. He turns to his place by the right proscenium pillar and looks at the audience for a minute. Nice town. You know what I mean? Nobody very remarkable will ever come out of it, as far as we know. The earliest tombstones in the cemetery up there on the mountain say 1670 to 1680. They're Grovers and Cartwrights and Gibbses and Herseys. Some names are around here now. Same names as are around here now. Well, as I said, it's about 9. The only lights on in town are in a cottage over by the tracks, where a Polish mother's just had twins. And in the Joe Crowell house, where Joe Jr. is getting up so as to deliver the paper. And in the depot, where Shirley Hawkins is getting ready to flag the 5:45 for Boston. A train whistle is heard. The stage manager takes out his watch and nods. Naturally, out in the country, all around, there've been lights on for some time, what with milk-ins and so on, but town people sleep late. So, another day's begun. And if you would like to join me here next week as I read from another Thornton Wilder play, The Skin of Our Teeth. Thank you and have a great week.